released on the ankle monitor. Mr. Hamlett was transported to the Justice Center from South Carolina last night, where he remains on a no bond on all his charges. I basically want to give you guys, the media, and the public a lot of praise and thank yous. You guys helped us a lot, pushing this information out across the nation the way it's went out. Helped us, helped the Marshal Service, just to pin this guy down and get him into custody before he could go out and commit other crimes. So we do appreciate you greatly. Marshal County.
Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. David Jolly, I'm the United States Marshal for the Eastern District of Tennessee. We're very happy, as everybody is in the area, about the capture of Nicholas Wayne Hamlett after a few days on the run, mainly in South Carolina during that period of time. Mr. Hamlett was taken into custody on this past Sunday over in that area after he basically was found on the side of the road, very dehydrated, hungry, and not in the greatest of medical condition. And the reason for that being that we've been chasing him through the woods for several days over in the Chafin, South Carolina area. And in a lot of ways, I think he kind of ran out of gas. He just was out of, like I said, he was cold, hungry, and dehydrated, and got to the hospital. Somebody spotted him. They transported him to the hospital. They did not know who he was at the time, just got on the side of the road. Got to the hospital. Fortunately, an employee there at the hospital, one of the medical staff, one of the good things, thanks to you guys in the media in that area over there particularly, they were very good about pushing the message out constantly to the community that this guy was still on the run in the area. So the neighbors, people around, the citizens around the area were on the lookout for Mr. Hamlett. So one of the medical staff realized this might be the guy that we were looking for, called law enforcement, U.S. Marshals, Carolina's Fugitive Task Force, which works that area over there on that side of the mountains, responded to the hospital, fingerprinted Mr. Hamlett, and realized then that we had the right guy. That was Nicholas Wayne Hamlett. So that's kind of the circumstances of that. Our job as the marshals kind of end right there. He's in custody, and then it kind of comes back to the sheriff's department here. Hamlet's still been in the hospital for a few days. So now that he's out of the hospital, he's over in jail there, and then he'll be transported back here at some point. So
He's back now. So
he's back now.
Okay.
Good.
So, guys, just one brief thing, and I'm going to let the detective answer any questions that you guys have. This is still an ongoing investigation. There's still a lot of things a lot that we know. There's still a lot that we're trying to find that out. So there will be some things that the detectives cannot answer. We'll try to be as open as possible, but at the same time, we do have to keep in mind the integrity of the investigation and the future prosecution of these two. Again, I want to thank the 10th Judicial District Attorney's Office, General Stephen Hatchett, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Knoxville, the Violent Crime Task Force, Monroe County Violent Crime Task Force, the Knoxville Police Department, Ms. Forster, Hamilton County Cave and Technical Rescue Teams, the Monroe County Rescue Squad, Monroe County Emergency Management Agencies, Monroe County E911, Polk County E911, and all the other first responders and law enforcement that's been involved in this investigation. And you guys, thank you guys a lot, and thank the public for the information that has been shared. Both suspects were arrested that incident, so that's good for everyone. And now we'll let the courts they'll have their day in court. we'll see how it goes from there. But Captain Mason with the Monroe County Detectives Division, he'll be taking the podium, and they might answer the questions that you have, just due to there's been a lot involved in this. So thank you guys again.
First of all, I want to reiterate what the sheriff said about the news media, getting this information out. And I understand that you want a lot of information, as much as you can get. And y'all have been real good about not asking for too much. And because there's some things that we can't put out. And even now, there's still things that we can't put out. But there's multiple agencies that came together to assist in this. To locate Mr. Hamlett and Ms. Fiber. It shows dedication that these detectives and agencies have to bring justice to the victim and the victim's family. And I want to thank the agencies and detectives for doing that. They put in long hours over the past month. They've kind of put their lives on hold to get this done. And we are fortunate here that we are part of a state grant that we just received a couple years ago, coming up on 2 years, that has aided in us purchasing new technology. And a lot of this new technology was used in this case to assist in the investigation. And Detective Livingston here will brief you on our violent crimes division that has assisted in this investigation.
I want to thank everybody for being here. My name is Billy Littleton, and I serve as the director for the Violent Crime Task Force in Monroe County, as well as the lieutenant detective with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. At the beginning of the investigation, we were there since day one with Lieutenant Phil Y'all. The Monroe County Violent Crime Task Force is funded by a grant with the state of Tennessee, and it paid overtime for agencies to come together to work this case. With the Monroe County Violent Crime Task Force, you have members from the Massillville Police Department, Sweetwater Police Department, Tellico Plains, and Monroe Police Department, all assisting to come together. It was very instrumental in capturing Mr. Hamlett, as well as Ms. Fiber. I'm going to turn it over to the lead detective, Jason Philial, and he's going to answer some questions. And please, like the sheriff had echoed before, keep the questions to a minimum related to the case. We can't discuss everything.
As Lieutenant Littleton said, I'm Lieutenant Jason Philial with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office Detective Division. So basically, I am the lead investigator for this case since day one. So the easiest thing for me to do is just field questions.
I guess the first one, I know that the affidavit said that he had taken out, I guess, an $8 million policy for another ID. Is that sort of a common theme that you've seen throughout this entire process in terms of the motive?
At this time, it appears that it is a financial motive.
I guess he's been connected to several different states, not only in the Southeast, but across the country. We've heard that Alabama has wanted him for a couple different reasons. I guess the broad question that I'd love you to answer is, what kind of a person do you have in your jail right now?
I think we can safely say an extremely dangerous person. He's shown throughout the history that we are able to see, he's shown that he doesn't think twice about hurting other people to get what he wants. So I think he's an extremely dangerous individual.
Is he being investigated for harming or even killing other people across the country?
Not that I'm aware of at this time. I mean, the information's out there, but we haven't been contacted directly yet.
It is safe to say that he's had multiple IDs from people across the country, one way or the other.
Yes.
The FBI is, one of their reasons for being involved is they are assisting with looking into those things that you just asked about to see what there is out there that he might be connected to in other parts of the U.S.
I guess just an overall question, how satisfying is it? I know it's been weeks of searching not only this state, but others. How rewarding is it for you and this whole department and region to finally have it do this?
It's a huge relief. I think when I got the phone call, I was actually at home sitting on the couch with my wife and my daughter when I got the phone call from the Marshal Service saying, we got him. And I think I came up off the couch because it has been a pretty heavy weight just knowing he was out there. And when they said we got him, I just felt like the world was lifted off my shoulders.
This is going to be a question for whoever might have been there that day when you picked him up from South Carolina, but I'm curious, did he say anything to you? What was his demeanor like? You mentioned just he was picked up like he ran out of gas at that point.
We didn't have the opportunity. I didn't have the opportunity to speak with him when he was actually identified at the hospital. But we had a group, I would say a group, 2 units went to pick him up yesterday and bring him back. And as I spoke with the 2 officer deputies that transported him, and they said he didn't say a single word, that he was just silent.
Considering there were multiple identities involved in this, and he was assisted by his wife, how confident are you guys that all parties involved in assisting him have been identified, and are you looking to see if anybody else helped him?
I would say probably 90% confident that we have everybody identified that's either one way or another involved with Mr. Hamlett. There are some other things that we are going to explore. As we said, it's an active investigation, so we definitely want to explore these different leads that we've come up with, and then before we can say it's done.
Do you know? Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just saying, do you know the time that Nicholas Hamlett appearance Monday in Monroe County Court?
On Monday, I believe it would be 9 o'clock. Oh, he's already been arraigned, so I think he's set for the 25th.
I called today, they can do it Monday,
Oh, they are gonna,
for the wife and for,
You guys have stressed the importance about this entire thing about if you know anything, say something. Just reading that affidavit, I understand if I'm reading it correctly, that you got some form of help from a family member, even, saying that he had left. Can you elaborate on how helpful that was in the investigation?
some of the information from family members was pivotal on the case. The information was actually what gave us traction to really move forward and identify who we were dealing with.
Can you just speak to the overall really rarity of something like this happening? There's a lot of elements that I'm sure are first for not only you in this department, but just can you speak to that?
A case that's I would say is I'm gonna say complicated, as this is extreme rarity. I've been in law enforcement 23 years. The gentleman next to me that is long, or as long, and one day I'll be as long as they have me. But we I've never seen it before. Not to this complexity. I mean, kind of reminded me of the movie Catch Me If You Can. It seemed like everywhere we turned something new was coming up, and we would just kind of scratch our heads. So.
There are some complex layers to the case that makes it a little bit different than the typical, very straightforward homicide. In some cases, sometimes they are very straightforward. This one it does have some complex layers. Obviously, the sheriff's department really can't, for prosecutorial purposes, can't go into what all that is yet. It'll come out as we get into the court process and things, and you'll kind of see what some of the complexities are related to this particular case. And you mentioned some of the family members. So the family members, even Miss Fiver's family, a lot of them were very cooperative, actually. They had no idea who this guy was. They never heard the name Nicholas Hamlett before. Most people we talked to never heard the name Nicholas Hamlett. They did not know him by that name. But there were family members out there that were cooperative.
How long do you believe he had been getting away with using other people's names and identities, whether it be this state or others?
Several years.
And again, just to clarify, you believe that in this case, it was financially driven in some capacity?
Yes.
I know part of the reason that she was sentenced to wear an ankle monitor is because she is from out of state. Can you share where she is from?
I can say South Carolina.
What was his motive in this?
It appears to be financial.
We were in the guy into the mountains.
Yes, sir.
Killing him. Financial, in what way? Who's gonna pay him?
Elaborate on that a little bit.
Mark, at this time, we're probably going to pass on answering that question just for prosecution purposes. It will come out because, like I said, it is the mother. Very sad also.
I mean, I think you can safely we could be vague enough to say that it was definitely financial related. It was a scheme that ensnared a young man who was a victim that would have led to the financial benefit of Nicholas Wayne Hamlett.
Said this victim, he was a vulnerable individual. He maybe had experienced being homeless or things of that nature. Has this case impacted any protocols on how you identify homeless or vulnerable individuals in the community?
I can say here in Monroe County, we have a very small homeless population, and we are a small rural county. So we honestly know most of our citizens. The homeless that we deal with, a lot of them unfortunately commit misdemeanor crimes during the winter, so they can come and have their own place to stay. We do a homeless count each year, our homeless coalition does. We have deputies that goes out and assist with those. So we identify the homeless, we know where they stay, we know family members if they have any next to them. So if we do find this person, we know who to contact. I can't speak outside Monroe County because trust me, we get in Knoxville and different places and totally different things. But here we're very blessed with the programs that we have in place. And like I said, with our homeless coalition, we try to monitor all the homeless and make sure they have food, water, shelter. In the wintertime, you guys may see this, may not, but we actually open the Justice Center up as a warming shelter for the homeless. So the lobby of the jail, we serve them food, we have mats, we have blankets. In the evenings, they get to stay all night, and they do have to leave during the day because we've got business to do. But there's a lot that comes in and out of this facility throughout the winter months. So, and again, Sam, you asked earlier about the satisfaction of having them in custody. There's multiple things we can say about that. I know myself and Marshal Jolly, which is Marshal Service, has been just completely outstanding in this investigation. We've talked at least every other day, if not daily, just sharing information back and forth, and our guys are pushing up through us. And, just knowing that he's in custody, he's not out here reoffending, hurting someone else, and so that the victim's family knows that this person is in custody and he will go before a judge, a jury, and see the justice system work the way it should.
To answer your question, CARM, we did reach out, Captain Mason spoke with CARM, and CARM does photograph intake, homeless population, as well as track. The victim's name, I'm going to put a name to the victim, but Stephen Douglas Lloyd. They said it's time for his name to be known. He was homeless due to a mental illness, and the CARM was able to assist us and speak with us further during the investigation, but they do keep a good, accurate documentation on the homeless population.
Sorry, one last question. You said that he had already been arraigned.
He was, I believe he was arraigned this morning.
I'm not sure. He was appointed an attorney this morning, so he would have went in front of the judge. Now, they may have something set up for Monday.
Talked to Michelle. She said it's Monday.
Okay,
And I asked about his wife and him. And the girls to know that Michelle provided it.
yeah, they may have just appointed an attorney today because we spoke with the attorneys.
You guys have no further questions? Again, thank you. We appreciate everything you've done to help with this investigation. Y'all be safe.
That's